Hello, dude. You going to come out the front with me today, are you? Good afternoon, one and all. Thank you very much for tuning in. Is it afternoon? No, it's still morning here. Good morning. Just. Right. Right, so I'm going to try and carry on where I left off yesterday. There's one tool missing, but I think that was missing yesterday. It's probably under a load of stuff that I need to clear up, so let's get the ladder. Quite nice out here today, quite warm really. It's still morning, so it will warm up for a couple of hours yet. Hopefully. So once I've got this round the front, I don't normally let Rufus, a little dog, round the front because we're right by a main road. And people often leave the front gate open, and there's also a laburnum arch which when it is in bloom, it's got poisonous leaves on it, shoots on it. So, but I have a plan for that today. This doesn't help that this gate keeps springing back. Now, where are my pruning shears, because I need them. Let's share this out quickly. Share broadcast with all the peeps. There we go, 20 groups. Right, pruning shears, where are they? Look at this, I'm terrible. Look at all these mugs I keep leaving out here. I'm going to take these back because we're running out now. Right, so I am missing a set of tools at the minute. Hello, dude. I'll let you round the front in a minute when I've finished sorting myself out. where are they? What did I do with them? Surely I didn't put them in here. Surely nobody's stolen them. Nope, can't see them in there. Hello, handsome. So I need to find these because I can't do my job otherwise. Wonder if they're in here in this big old mess. I'll tell you what I'll do for now. I'll get the saw. It's not ideal, but until I find these, then I ain't going to be able to. I'm not going to be able to do my job properly. I don't know what's happened to those. They've disappeared without a trace. No sign of them in here. Hello, Mr. Daffodil. You like daffodils, don't you? Hmm? Right, so in a minute. Right, it's nice and calm here today, so I think I'm going to put my tea on here. It's not easy doing that with gloves on. So we're minus a set of tools at the minute. They're not under there. I don't know where they are, but anyway. So Rufus likes to be with me, so I'm going to take him around the front, but I've got to tie him to a tree. It's not quite as draconian as it sounds. Bobby, Tutti Fruity. There he is. Give me a minute. Put your reins on. Put your reins on then, boy. You can come around the front with me. You want to go at the front? You don't have to. Lift your pegs then. Oi. Put your legs in. That's it. Is he in properly? Yeah, he's in properly. Right. Come here then, Rufus. Come here. What did I do with my tea? Right. You can come round the front with me then. What did I do with my tea? I had it a minute. I think I left it around the front. Didn't I? Right, come on then. Let's go back. Yeah, he's a bit confused. I've done then. Afternoon, everybody. on. Whoa, 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 hold on. Rufus, come back. Right, I'm going to tie you around here, Rufus. Hold on. Come here. I've got to do this because people leave the gate open. That's it. So he can. There we go. That's it. Can you put? You can't go any further. What's happened in? Let's try and give him some. Try and give him some slack. Go. There we go. You got room to move about now, ain't you, dude? Okay. You okay? You can come out the front with me now, can't you? Kiss. Right, I'm going to do some work. It's alright, you can move about. What's your matter? If you don't like it, I can put you back in. Put you back round the back. You okay? Oh, my tea's vanished again. This is getting really weird. Okay. I think he's a bit confused at the minute. Hi, Bobby. I need a shovel, really. Good morning, Kimberly. How you doing? All right, bro. I thought I'd bring him out here. I'm not sure if he likes it or not, but I think he might be a bit confused. Yeah, not bad, thank you. I've got to sort of tie him up to the. I've given him as much slack as I can, but I've got to sort of tie him to the tree because people leave gates open and we're right by a main road. And when this thing starts sprouting, the things that it sprouts are poisonous. So I've got to sort of keep him away from that as well. You alright, bro? I think he's alright. I need to get a shovel. Spade. Just make sure that's on. Make sure that's on properly. That ain't gonna get through there, is it? Just wrap that round again. There we go. Right, I'm just gonna get a shovel. I think he's alright. I think he's just a bit confused because he's not normally out here. He does like to run free, but he likes to be with me as well. So My shovel in here, let's have a look. I don't think it is. No. I don't know what's happened to my cup of tea. I did have a cup of tea somewhere. It's vanished. Did I bring it in with it? It's looking alright, thank you. Yeah, not too bad. It's getting there. I need to get the hedge done because I want to paint everything. But yeah, it's getting there. Yesterday I was my partner's waving at the dog. Yesterday I chopped all this back because you might remember that was all hanging over. Well, I was going to tie it up, put metal posts in and stuff, but for one, I don't think I could get metal posts that tall and whack them in the ground, and it was just getting a bit of a mess, so I just sort of tidied it up. Oh, there's the tea. So it's sort of level with all that now. And then in the evening I was just trying to find, I didn't make that line, I was trying to find it. So I was raking up and just snipping the edge just to see where the edge actually was. And obviously the fella who did that, I think he'd been on the whiskey. I think he'd been on the Scotch whiskey when he done that line, because it's not quite straight. But I'm going to try and see the line has sort of disappeared. I think it might be because of that root. There's a big root there, but I'm going to try and straighten that off today and continue it on the other side. So we'll see how we get on. I could use, it's tempting to use a piece of string. I've done that in the past, and you get a nice straight edge if you put a piece of string obviously all the way along as a guide, but I'm not too worried about that at the minute. So let's try and straighten this. My gloves have now disappeared. So what line am I going to work to? That's very difficult to see. It looks like the council have done that line. Yeah, it might have something to do with it. There's a big root there. What's this thing all crooked, that's it. Try and get it as straight as I can. This is not a job for this is not a job for a Sunday morning, because obviously if I've been on the cooking sherry, then my lines might not be very straight either. I remember once I did a job for an aunt of mine, and I always thought I did a really good job. One particular day I thought, yeah, there's a root there, got to be careful. One particular day I was actually a bit hungover from, I'd been out at there's a place in Windsor called the Old Ticket Hall, and it's the only place that you can watch live music sort of until about 2 AM. So I sometimes used to go there on a Thursday, because it wasn't quite as manic as obviously the weekends, and you still got to watch a bit of live music. So I used to go there, and on the Friday I was working at this place, and I did the grass, and I used to do like the lines. You just go one way, back the other, and then you get nice lines. And this, because I was hungover from the night before, the lines were terrible. I thought they were terrible. I thought, good God, that's the worst I've done it. And she phoned me up that night and she said, oh, Tim said he's really pleased with the garden. Now, he said, how'd you get the lines that straight? I thought, my God, I was still pissed, I think, when I done that. So the one time I thought I did a terrible job, she thought I'd done a really good job. So you can sort of see where this is a bit pissed. Hello buddy, how you doing? Good evening, good evening, good evening. So I'm going to try and... we've lost a bit of lawn here. So... we've lost a bit of lawn to the slightly not very straight lines. You can tell how calm it is here today because I've got my tea. I wouldn't put my tea there if it was if the wind was wild. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, thank you. So I'm trying to create a sort of straight line here. I don't really want to do this job, but it's going to help me when I'm trying to straighten the hedge. It's going to help me know what line I'm actually supposed to be working to. So this is sort of where the line should be, I presume. Not where it's actually been dug. I could be really finicky about this and I could tie a bit of string from one end to the other, and I've done that in the past, and you do get obviously very nice straight lines if you follow it. But I've got bigger fish to fry really, so I'm not going to be doing that at the minute. It can't be, I can't get it any less straight than it already was. No worries, no worries. I haven't been. Probably go on. Let's say I check my notifications. I do that at one particular time. I don't. It's not always the same time, but I do sometimes still go on social media and that. But ouch! Ooh, I don't know what happened there. So sometimes I will be on social media. I just go through all the notifications like at a set time and go through them all one by one. That kind of thing. Yeah, I've been on Instagram a little bit more, I think, recently. There's roots. They're a pain in the butt. There's a root there, so I can't do anything. Oh, we've gone sideways. So I'm going to let the grass sort of regrow on that bit there. Okie doke, bud. So that we get that lawn back, which we should have had anyway. It's only a little bit, but another root there, got to be careful. go. It's starting to sort of marry up again now. There we go, it's sort of married up now. Sort of. It's not quite straight, but could do with a little bit of a chunk off here really. It's just gone a bit too far in. You alright, boy? You okay? You okay, buddy? Hmm? If rather I put you in the back, I'll put you out the back. Hmm? Up to you. I don't mind. You okay? He's alright. Hey, dude. You stay there then, and you let me work. Yeah, be careful of those, brother. Take those away. Might get him bring his water out in a minute because it's getting quite warm out here. So it's straight, sort of. That's not bad. It doesn't need to be perfect, really. Yeah, you can see where I've tried to sort of get it a bit straight, but you can see where the last guy's made a bit of a mess of it. It just needs to come in a little bit around here. Sort of straight, needs to come in a little bit more there. Howdy, partner. Trying to get a sort of semi straight line. That's not too bad. It still needs to come in a touch. Sometimes I find that doing it the other way, turning the shovel the other way, sometimes helps. Crumbling away really, but never mind. Yeah, it's not bad. That'll do. Right, so now I'm going to try and sort of marry it up slightly. So what he's done here is he's come too far out, because instead of cutting this back, he decided to just dig round it. It seems a bit silly to me. Try and get that straight. It's nice here today. I don't know what the temperature is, but it's quite warm really, for working anyway. Probably I'd say it's not warm to you, Matthew, I know, but it's probably sort of high 50s here today, I would imagine. That's a heat wave for us. About 2 days ago, it was Saturday, it was 32. It was when we came back from the beach. It was snowing here briefly. This thing keeps going sideways, and straighten that up. I'm not sure if Rufus likes being out here. I thought he might like being out here with me, but maybe it's because I've got to tie him up. He doesn't like it. If he don't like it, I'll put him back out in the. I'll put him out in the back. That's not bad. That's not too bad. Oops. I think that's a, what's that? It sounds like a road sweeper. I think it is. I think there's an old. No, it's not. It's just. Yeah, it is a road sweeper. Is it? I don't know what it is. Yeah, yeah, he's over there. No, that was some big old vehicle. It did have, I think it was a road sweeper. I think it was just not sweeping, not road sweeping at the time. They brought them back because the powers that be up here decided it would be a good idea if they got rid of all the road sweepers. So all of the pavements were just covered in glass, broken glass from nights out and all sorts of stuff. And I think there was a lot of complaints because there's a lot of dog owners. I'd imagine that's got something to do with it. There's a lot of dog owners around here, and I think everybody was getting fed up with having to walk their dog over broken glass all the time. I certainly was. So I think they've bowed to pressure and decided that it might be a good idea to keep the streets clean. Never a bad thing in a supposedly developed country. What's up, bro? You okay? I'll go and see him in a minute. Just finish this bit. Yeah, it's a bit of an awkward one. If people didn't leave gates open, I would probably just let him run through. But that road, there's joyriders and all kinds of people on. People drive like absolute maniacs. If he got out, I think he wouldn't stand much of a chance. That's still protruding a little bit. It's not quite straight. But oh god, that's not that straight, is it? Yeah, you can see where he's sort of I've kind of worked to his lines, but you can see where he's chopped round the bush when that was protruding a bit more, that bit there. He just cut sort of around it like that. So I would have to sort of build that back up to get that straight. I guess for now I'm just going to have to leave it because it's going to take me a while to sort of try and build that back up. So let's just... You alright, buddy? What's the matter, bro? You okay? Do you want me to put you back in the back? You look sad. I'll put you back out the back then. Shall I? Do you want to go out the back? He looks a bit sad. I think I'm going to put him... I think I'll put him out the back. I'll put you out the back then, brother. Won't you go back out the back? I thought he'd like being out here with me. I thought I'd try it, but he looks a bit sad. Okay. Rufus. I can't do anything with you standing there like that. We're all tangled up now. You want to go out the back, brother? Come on then. come back round here. Come in then, I'll take your bits and pieces off. Is it? Ready? Hello there, how you doing? Howdy doody. Misbehaving, how you doing? Good morning, good morning, good morning. I was trying to see if, I don't think he liked it really. I think he looked a bit bored, yeah. Howdy. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Yeah, I thought I'd let Rufus out the front with me, but I had to sort of tie him up because people leave gates open, and but he looked a bit sad, so I've put him back around the back now, or indoors for the minute. It was worth a try. Howdy doody y'all, it's quite nice here today. The sun is sort of temporarily partially hidden behind the cloud at the minute, but it's quite warm by our standards. Certainly compared to Saturday when we had a brief flurry of snow. What am I doing? I'm looking for my tea. Yeah, it was snowing very briefly on Saturday. I'm tempted to sort of. Is it really? Bloody hell, that's cold. I don't think it's been in the 20s here since about last April. I think it's probably in the high 50s today, at a guess. So I was trying to get this sort of straight so that I knew what to work with when chopping that thing back. But the last dude who did all this, instead of cutting that bit back, he edged round it, which is why I got this sort of bulge there, which isn't straight. So I'm thinking maybe I should try and build that up a little bit, that bit there, so that it meets, so that it's straight. But I'm not quite sure how that would pan out. I've never actually done that before. Might be harder than it appears. I'm going to have a go. I'm going to have a quick go at it, and then I'm going to get on with... Actually, no, I'll tell you what, it's not a good idea to do that now, because I'll do it afterwards, because if I'm sort of in this area chopping, I'm very likely going to knock down anything I build up. So maybe I should finish this first, then build that up, and then when I'm not standing all over this, hopefully some of the roots and stuff will knit it together. That's the plan anyway. So we'll leave that for now. What I will do though is I'll nature is very good at making little holders for your mug. Look, Mother Nature thinks of everything. Perfect. So I'm just going to edge this off a bit. Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum. just edge this up a little bit, make it look sort of neat, semi-neat. Hello Lynn, I almost missed your comment there. I was thinking about something else. How are you doing? So while the weather's nice, I thought I'd rush out here and do a bit more while it lasts. It is very nice today, I must admit. Ouch. Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, it is. It's nice. The sun is nice and high for us. Doesn't get much higher than that. Yeah, it's pretty good. I've just been. You can see where. Can you see where the last gardener, instead of chopping this back properly, he decided to make an arch round that. When that was bulging out over here, and he thought he's the sort of person that would I think our last gardener is the sort of person that would twist the house to put a light bulb in rather than twist the light bulb. So I was thinking, shall I try and build that up, you know, so that because the rest of it, you know, I've done it kind of straight. That is his line, that was mine. Hopefully that'll sort of, well, it won't build itself up. I'll probably have to build that up as well. But I don't really want to do that now, because while I'm sort of cutting this, I'll probably end up treading on what I've built up, and then it will just collapse again. So I'm thinking, when I'm not working in this area, the last thing I'll do is build that up and then rebuild that up so that it's straight. So basically press a load of mud into that arch bit, and then hopefully the roots, the grass roots and all the rest of it will knit it, keep it attached and stop it collapsing. I've never actually done that before, but I'm not going to do it while I'm still working over it, because I'll probably just tread all over it. And so after I've done this, I'm gonna no, I know I've done the best I can sort of with the line that he's given me, and obviously sometimes it's difficult because there's like roots that there. I don't really want to cut through that because it's a tap root, but yeah, I tried to get it as I did that line, obviously, so I need to build that bit up, and then you can see where he's sort of arched out. And so once I've built that up, I built that little bit up, it'll be quite straight, really. And then what the mistake he did, I think, is like, you see what I'm doing now. You can sometimes, you know, get a straight edge. Sometimes it collapses a bit and you have to do something with it. But yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's getting there. What he did here, like when this needed, I think what he did is when this bit here, see when all this starts growing over the edge, rather than just go along like that and you know, and you can see it already. Look, it's starting to make a bit of a sharp. I'm not pointing in the right direction, am I? But if you go along like that, I actually do it sometimes with a pair of scissors, which looks a bit stupid, but you can start to see, you know, you start to get a nice straight edge. Rather than doing that, he used to go along with the shovel, which is obviously you can do that. But if you go along with the shovel, if you do that every time the grass gets overgrown, then you're going to take bits of the garden away, because it's going to go further and further back. And you can see that here, look, that's where the garden used to be, so there. So we've lost a bit of lawn because he's always used the shovel. And if we'd have kept him on, we probably would have gone all the way back to here. So first thing I do before, because that ground hasn't collapsed, it's just got grass growing over the top of it. So all you need to do really, there you go, and you start to get a nice. So, you know, I don't understand his methods really, but that's the simple way to do it. So just go along here, rather than take bits of this lawn away. That's a root growing out the ground. Thank you for the hearts, Lynn. Just go along like that. That's actually his edge. So I'm not even going to bother, because I want the grass to grow out and over on this bit, because I want this to be the new line. So and then it sort of meets up here, starts to marry up. And then I'm going to go further along. This grass will need cutting probably in a couple of weeks. Thank you, Lynn. This grass will probably need cutting again in a couple of weeks. It just literally just stops, and then once the sort of temperatures get maybe in the sort of high 50s and that, mid high 50s maybe, everything starts growing again. Some things obviously are perennial and they grow, as the Latin name suggests, all year round. Don't ask me to speak Latin. I did have Latin classes at my school, but they were evening classes, and they were for the exceptionally clever people. Not people that study languages for 3 years like me and then can only speak in that language for 1 minute by the end of it all. People that are fluent. Yeah, my German oral exam was quite an embarrassing thing. I remember going there on my own into the school, and I was supposed to speak in German for 5 minutes to the German teacher as part of the overall, and this counted towards my overall grade. I managed to do it for a minute, and then I just said, sorry sir, I can't do anymore. That was it. Right, there we go. That'll do for now. So that's as straight as I'm going to get it really for the minute, with the lines that I was given, and then later on I'll build that up, build the crooked bits up. So right, now we go along here. First of all, I'm going to rake it, because sometimes, like with this one, I didn't think there was a line until I raked it, and then I found that there was a bit of a line that I could work with. So let's rake it first. I don't think there's much of a line here. He seemed to, there's another thing that was a bit strange, he seemed to concentrate like on that side, but not this side, and I know this is a bit more concealed. I don't know, I'll have to find I'll probably go down the job centre. No, when it's complete, I'm going to start painting. There's loads and loads of jobs, painting jobs. I'm going to paint this. This needs painting. It's not rotten, but it will be rotten if I don't. But that's not the first job I'm going to do. So I'm prioritising it in order of what's going to be most expensive if it rots. So the first thing I'm going to do is the shed at the end of the back garden. There's a corner of that which is rotten. It's the only wooden structure I've found so far that is actually rotten in the corner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on YouTube and work out the best way to fill the gap, like the rotten gap, the hole, fill it, and then I'm going to paint over it. I'm going to paint all of the sort of rotten area. Then I'm going to make two thin, I'm going to cut like two thin squares of wood, so you know, about that thick, and I'm going to screw them over the top of it. So I'm going to fill the hole, paint over the top of that. I'm going to make two boards that go in an apex over the corner. I'm going to screw them in to obviously bits that aren't rotten. Yeah. And then I'm going to paint over the top of just that area, just so it doesn't rot any further. And then I'm going to do the summer house at the back, because obviously that's connected to the house. So if that started rotting, people could actually get in. So then I'll paint the summer house. Isn't particularly difficult because most of that, as you've probably seen, is glass. So there's not actually that much wood. There is a bit of wood, but not that much to paint because it's mostly just massive sheets of glass. Then I'm going to move back to the shed and finish painting all of it. Not just obviously by this point I would have done the rotten corner, but I'm going to do the whole lot of it. Then I'm going to do what's the next priority? I guess it doesn't really matter if that little playhouse was to rot, because it's just it was, I mean, it's a shame if it rots, but it's not really a priority. But but I might do that next, because the fences don't look like they're rotten at the minute, but then I'll do the fences after that. So it's just going to be painting and more painting. It's going to be a bit tricky to know when I'm actually going to do that, because April is obviously the wettest month. So I'm expecting a lot of rain. May we go away, so it might be after that. But I think I want to get the summer house and the shed done as a priority, and then after that all the other bit. Once all the painting's done, I suspect these hedges will need doing again. So yeah, after I've done this, I'll be doing this hedge and that hedge, tidying that up, and then doing the painting. After that, I'm going to do probably the grass will need cutting in between. Weeding is probably, you see, once that's wed, is that the right word? But once that's been weeded, and that one over there which is all overgrown, it really starts to, I think it's all about borders and definition. So once you start weeding, you give it a lot of definition, and I think it looked quite nice once I've done all that. But it's going to take a long time. But to say, on the 22nd of March, I'm going to upgrade from 24 gigabytes per month to 100 gigabytes, and strangely for £14.89 less a month. So that'll be great, which will mean as well that, because I worked out that that's about 6 hours a day of broadcasting I can do, it means that when that summer house just before I came out was practically the same temperature when I opened the door as the rest of the house, where we've got, like, the heating is sort of on very, very low. So it's when in the summer, that summer house gets really, really warm, and it's lovely. You feel like you're in another country. So I like playing in there, but the problem was that it was so far away from the router that to do it via Wi-Fi the signal was a bit intermittent. So if I've got 100 gigabytes of data, I can just sit in there and do my music broadcasts in the summer in the nice warm temperature. So that's what I'm going to do. I can still do some in that little room, but that little room seems to be pretty much cold. Yeah, there was one unlimited one which was with a company called 3. I did go with them briefly for many years ago when dongles had sort of first come out. I think they were quite the reason the best deal I found on the market was this one for the price, I don't need. I know I'd never get more than. I'd never do more than 6 hours of broadcasting a day. Because even the thing is, even if I did do 6 hours of broadcasting, when I take a day off, obviously that's another 6 hours I've got to spread over the week. So that's almost 7 hours of broadcasting I've got for the rest of the week, isn't it, if I take a day off? So I think I can't see how I would get through. That's the best deal I could find, and obviously it means I don't have to get my phone unlocked. I don't have to change network and number and all that. Yeah, 3 did do unlimited. I can't remember the price. It certainly wasn't £20 a month. I think it was probably £30-40 a month, something like that. But I thought, for me, 100 gigabytes is unlimited, really. I know that a lot of these packages call their deals unlimited when they're actually not, but it was tempting, actually. I was tempted to go with 3, but I think they're all starting to do that now. I think they're all starting to seeing it on the telly. They're all jumping up to 100 gigabytes. Some are jumping up to unlimited. I think at the moment most of them are just jumping to like 100 gigabytes, but I'm sure they'll all follow suit and go to unlimited in oh dear. Yeah, see what I'm going to be doing. Yeah, that's the other thing, like if I'm allowed to, I don't know what the rules are at the minute, but if I'm allowed to, I'll be doing some broadcasting on the plane when we go on holiday, and that's and that'll be in we'll be in business class, so that'll be pretty. I think that'll be a pretty cool. I'm sure some people would like to see what it looks like in business class, because I don't know. I've seen pictures of it, but I thought that might be a pretty cool. I wouldn't obviously use my mobile data when we're in the Dominican Republic, because I should imagine that'll cost you a fortune. So I'll just have my Wi-Fi on, I think, when we're on holiday. Connect to the local Wi-Fi. Yeah, I know, it goes. That's the other thing where I like getting stuck into this, because when you get stuck into your work, I'm sure you know as well, when you get stuck into it, if there's something you're sort of looking forward to, when you get stuck into your work, one minute you've got 7 weeks to go, you get stuck into it, and then the next thing you're like, oh, there's 4 weeks to go. God, that went quick. How did that happen? So yeah, that will be what is it now? It's coming up 6 weeks to go, I think. 6 weeks on Wednesday. We've got to fly from the planes don't go directly there from Scotland, so we've got to fly down to Gatwick. They call it London Gatwick. It does make me laugh that they call it London Heathrow, London Gatwick. It's like they're not actually in London. I'm sure they do that to lure people who are travelling here in, and then these people will probably realise they have to get a bus or a train, which takes ages to actually get to London, if that's where they're trying to get. But Gatwick is not in London, and but we've got to fly that down there. It is near-ish, so we've got to get a plane down there, which takes about an hour and 15 minutes, and then the following day we'll get a plane from Gatwick across the big pond. But we need to get a taxi first to get to Glasgow Airport, which is as I say, about 90 or 100 miles away, so that would take about an hour and a half to get to Glasgow. Let's do a bit of. Shall I do a bit of snipping first so I can see what I'm looking at? So taxi to Glasgow, plane to Gatwick, and then the following day. Yeah, it will be. Yeah, they do deals, but it's quite expensive. Some of these taxis are as expensive as there was a thing on the news. This guy was trying to travel from somewhere in the UK to somewhere else, and I can't remember where he was trying to go, but it was so expensive that he looked around for deals, and it actually worked out cheaper for him to fly to Berlin and then fly from Berlin to where he was trying to get to. So instead of getting a bus or a taxi or whatever he was trying to do from one place to the other in the UK, he flew to Berlin, spent the day in Berlin sightseeing and so forth, and then flew to where he needed to go, and it was cheaper. Yeah, I've never sort of considered doing that. I was telling somebody the other day about, there was I think a few people do this now. There's obviously the care fees for elderly people are very expensive. I'm doing the wrong line here. Look, I can't see whether I'm gonna have to dig that. And there was one lady, I think she was on the news, or she was on a Facebook post that had loads of likes and stuff. And basically, she, instead of paying the massive fees that the care homes charge, she's on a permanent world cruise. She spends her whole life on a cruise ship, because it actually, the cruise that she's on actually works out cheaper than the fees for staying in a care home. She said there's doctors on board and all this. She meets different people all the time. Genius. Why not? That seems like a great idea to me. Right, I'm just trying to marry that up. So it's about there. Maybe a bit further. There. Start about there. Oh, I would you? I don't think I would. I don't think I'd get bored on a cruise. I think I'd love that. I've never been on one though, so maybe I'm not best placed to judge. Yeah, yeah, I suppose so. I don't know what these ships are like. You know, I've never been on one, so. But yeah, you might do. If you like, yeah. If you like the dry land. One of the hello, lucky girl. Thank you, my friend. Maybe that's one of the reasons I didn't. My dad used to always watch Star Trek, and I didn't like it. I think because I didn't like the fact that obviously I only remember one episode where they were actually like on dry land, you know, like with grass and stuff, and I kind of didn't like it because I like scenery and stuff like that, you know. So maybe I would get bored at sea. Maybe I need a bit of dry land. Ahoy! Land ahead! So I'm just edging up. I'm trying to sort of marry this up with that, folks. That is not my line. I did not do that. I won't be accountable for somebody else's drunkenness. That was wasn't me, Your Honour. That was the lazy ex-gardener that, rather than, when this thing was bulging over the top, rather than cut it back, he decided to dig round it. Now, I have worked with painters and decorators, and my mum's front door is actually not painted properly, because instead of waiting until she was in to paint the door, they decided to paint it when she was out. And of course the edges, which obviously sit behind like the frame, are actually not painted. So she's got a door which is painted to the edges. So it's blue, her front door, with beige edges like that. Gardening on Guinness, that's exactly what it is. That sounds like a good election slogan, doesn't it? Vote for us, gardening on Guinness. I like that one. There was a funny election slogan here, and it's been doing the rounds on the internet. Now I've got to explain this first for those that don't know. Bairns is a Scottish word for kids, right? And it's spelt B-A-I-R-N-S, I think. Well, someone tried to go on a protest with a banner, Bairns not bombs, right? And instead, I don't know whether if they had dyslexia, then it's a bit of a shame. I'm assuming though, having known the supporters of this movement. It was probably just that they don't know how to spell properly. And their placard actually said Brian's, not bombs. B-R-I-A-N-S. Oops. And that's been doing the rounds on the internet. Brian's, not bombs. Brian! He's not the Messiah, he's a very naughty boy. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah, that's it, yeah. Mother, you mean to tell me you were raped by a Roman? Well, at first. So I've got to try and keep this sort of relatively straight. We used to do it. I was in a band with someone called Brian, and if I saw him in the street, I'd always go, Brian! And he'd often shout back, he's a very naughty boy! Yeah. Oh, everything's gone sideways. There we go. Do 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 do. No, it's just a bit of light-hearted banter going on. There's some I don't know what's happened to that. I don't know whether it's shut down or something. I joined a page called Funny English Grammar Spelling Mistakes, and it's basically people post. It's usually the page that does it. They post like grammatical errors and spelling errors which make for I was actually looking for I've got my portfolio of shares has got 99 now out of 100, and I was looking for a share earlier on Yahoo Finance. I was trying to look at the graph, and I can't remember that they've all got like I don't know if you know, but they've all got like ticker codes. So Amazon's ticker code is AMZN, I think, and Facebook is just F, so forth and so forth. I was looking for a ticker code, I think, which was like PVG or PVX or something like that, and autocorrect changed what I was looking for to poo. So there was the search bar. I nearly took a screenshot, but I forgot, and it changed what I was looking for to poo. I don't know why, because I've never put poo in a sentence, I don't think, not since I was about 5. Autocorrect really does try and sabotage your life, doesn't it? I need to catch some of your scopes, those of you that do scope. I'm not on here that much at the minute, largely because I'm working most of the time, but I do need to catch a few people's scopes because I haven't done much of that for a little while. So once this is edged, then I'm going to start chopping the hedge back. Sorry for the constantly rotating screen. Those of you that are epileptic, it can't be helping matters, I'm sure. So that's not bad, it's getting sort of straight. I have in the past used a bit of string, tied a bit of string from one end to the other, and it makes this a lot easier, but as long as you're not Guinnessed up, as we were discussing, then it's not massively difficult to get a straight line. That's yeah, it's not quite, I've gone a bit That's not quite straight, really. What? Who's that then? What girl? Oh, is that what? Are you talking about in your photo? That's not quite straight, is it? I tried to marry that up with the... I thought that was straight with the... I don't think it is. I might have to do that again. Oh, right. What happened then? Did you blow her out? I hope that doesn't get lost in translation. Blow her out means it doesn't mean how it's... It means you know, let her down. Probably not very gently. Ooh. Yeah, that's mind you, I think it's level with the... I can't work this out. The garden's not really level. I'm going to blame it on the garden. Oh, we'll just go with that for now. It's kind of level. Not really. Not sure about that. Maybe I'll have to... Oh, just leave it with that for now. I'll tidy it up another time. I just need to get on with the hedge, really. Blame it on the boogie. Rufus doesn't have much luck with the ladies. He's I think they're a bit confused because his last owners cut his cream crackers off, to use a Cockney rhyming slang expression. So I think he probably gives off a slightly different pheromone to a fully equipped male dog. So I think they're a bit confused with it by him, which is probably why he sometimes gets mounted by other male dogs that are probably a little bit confused by the pheromones. He looked quite disturbed the first time that happened. Yeah, he doesn't have much luck, Rufus. The female dogs usually growl at him. He must have... I think he's just got terrible chat-up lines. Maybe that's what the problem is. He was trying to instigate play with a English bulldog the other day. That was quite funny, because they're not the most mobile, are they, really? This bulldog did want to play with him, but it's one of the few times Rufus has actually sort of looks like the stronger party in a fight. He's not very good at fighting. He talks the talk, but when it comes to the crunch, he normally gets out muscled by other dogs. There we go, sort of straight. Straighter than the other side. Try not to take chunks out of the garden for the lawn. I think the sun's hiding now behind the clouds, but it's still warm. If anything, the cloud is probably warming things up a bit where it's trapping the heat in. That's not bad. It's not quite straight, but I've gone a little bit off piece there. I could remove the E from the end of piece, and that would probably be accurate as well. Sorry for the screen rotation, folks. It will end in a minute. Most of it will. See this. Right, so there we go. At least we've got some sort of edge there. It's not perfect, but try and sort of edge this up. I'm catching my hands on this thing there, on that branch trunk. Just try and snip the things that overhang it so that it stands out as a proper border. Eventually I'll mow this lawn. What's that? Sun's coming back out. Always loads of jobs to do here. Far more than I actually anticipated, really. It's been a bad day for my shares. Start of the week my best days all seem to be from the middle of the week onwards. It's been a pretty terrible day for shares at the minute for me, but I cut myself like I'm gonna bleed to death. Sure, I'll live. Still a bit overhanging there, I think. Oops, sideways, what's happened? There we go. What's happened there? Howdy all, thank you for tuning in. Yes, my comments are limited to people that I follow, to basically cut out the noise. I was going to say I do follow people back that follow me, and then obviously on subsequent broadcasts I do vet people a little bit, because the amount of people, unsavoury people on here, but I do generally follow the majority of people that follow me back. That probably isn't reflected from my numbers, because okay, thank you for that. In their infinite wisdom, Periscope recently had a bit of a clear out. I was told it was to do with bots, but I study quite intensely the people that follow me before I follow them back. It seems to me that it's not bots. It seems to me that it probably is bots, but also okie doke. It seems to me that it's also people that perhaps haven't watched you for a long time or interacted. Because I lost about 1,000 followers the other day. Strange. But for some reason it didn't unfollow them. My account didn't unfollow them. So Periscope forced 1,000 people to unfollow me, but didn't force me to unfollow some of them, which is why I'm following a lot more people than follow me at the moment. So another aggressive strategy by Periscope or Twitter. Yet another aggressive strategy, I should say. But yeah, I do, not always immediately, but I do usually by the end of the day check out if there's been any new people follow me, particularly on obviously days that I've been broadcasting. That's when you generally pick up the most new followers, and as long as people, you know, just look decent enough or sound decent enough, then I generally just follow them back. I'm not here for the drama. I'm not here for the bitching and infighting that goes on. I've got no time for that. So that's why I limit comments and try and keep it clean. But I will be checking later today for new followers. So thank you if anybody, if you follow me, Ricky, anybody else that has. I will be having a look at you later on. Some people say to me, well, why don't you just let them in and then block them if they're abusive? I could do that. I used to do that. But what a lot of people don't realise is that I actually get abuse every single day, usually every single day, on other platforms. So this is my little haven. The ability to limit comments is my little haven from the incessant abuse. My little break from it for a little while. But obviously not everybody's like that. Most people aren't, thankfully. Ooh. Caught myself. If I have my hands too far, sometimes I catch them together. I don't quite know how that happens, but it's because they're quite flexible, I think. Alright, there we go then. That's not too bad, I don't think. That'll do. Let's give that a little bit of a rake. Let's rake it this way, away from where I've just been. So you've got loads of ow. See, that needs to come back. I nearly got decapitated by that. So yeah, I want to chop this back so that 1 PM Eastern. So yeah, chop this back so that it's not over that line. So that's what I'll be doing. And obviously I've got about an hour or so of evening time to play with now. Now that the evenings are getting a bit lighter, I can usually broadcast from 5 until sort of about gone 6 o'clock now. I have to remember obviously to charge my phone up in the... Yeah, that's alright. Yeah, I gathered you were having a conversation. Because obviously this 2 hours, if I broadcast for about 2 hours, it drains the life out of this battery. I'm not going to go too mad on that for the minute because I want to get onto this. Okay, Lynn, thank you for tuning in. Thanks for your support, as always, much appreciated. I'm going to just share this out in a minute. I think I might wash my hands first because, yeah, you too. Have a great day. Wash my hands before I start messing about with the screen. Yeah, I tried to, I don't know if you saw, I tried to have Rufus around the front with me today, and I had to tie him to a tree because sometimes people leave the gate open, and we're right by a main road, and there's, when that laburnum arch over the pathway, when it goes into bloom in the summer, the leaves on it are poisonous. So I tied him to a tree away from that and away from the gate, but he looked a bit sad. So I there he is. He's happy now. Hi, dude. Right, brother. What's up, dude? What's up, boy? What's up? What are you doing? You coming outside? You're not distracting me today. I've got to work. Where's my gloves? Have I lost my gloves? Alright, let's share this out. Share it out. Alright, 1, 2, hold on, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. There we go, 20 groups. Boom. Hello, Mr. Bush. You look like a bush. He's got grass stuck to his bum. You can't go. No, you can't go around there like that because you'll run out into the road and cause mayhem. You didn't want to go out there. I let you out, then you didn't like it. I'll be back in a minute. Howdy, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Hello everybody, thank you for tuning in. Yeah, my comments are limited to people I follow only, to cut out some of the noise. If you have followed me or you wish to follow me, feel free to do so, or thank you for doing so if you have. I follow lots of people back subsequently after broadcasts. Where were we up to? What was I going to do? Right, let's chop this. Start chopping things back now. I'm going to need the. I'll get the ladder now because I'm going to need it in about 5 or 10 minutes. No, I don't know where they are. I've lost my gloves. They've vanished. I know who might have stolen them. I've got a feeling I know who the culprit might be. I've got a feeling they might be in the middle of the lawn. The same dude who steals them most of the time. Are they? Did I put them? Did you see me put them there? When I'm talking, I get distracted from like where I've put things and stuff because I can't multitask. But we're not allowed to make gender stereotypes anymore, so I can't elaborate on that. Allegedly. Yeah, well, no, I didn't have them then. They could actually be on the bench in the shed, I suppose. I thought that's what you meant. This is going to be tricky because I want to get that down. And I've lost. Oh, I could use those, couldn't I? But this is going to be. I've lost my pruning shears as well. I don't know where they've gone. Stuff is going missing here. So, tell you what, I'll chop this. Shall I try and? This is tricky. This. Oh, I can't be bothered to find the gloves. If I can shove the ladder in there. Oh, this thing. This ladder is more sturdy, but it's a pain in the backside because it doesn't. There we go. Right, locked. Howdy doody, peeps. How we doing? Howdy doody, everybody. Just sending this out for the new folks, really. These are quite sharp, although they're not pruning shears. They seem to be a lot sharper than the other normal shears, normal length shears. Oh, Jesus. I look like a peeping Tom, don't I, standing here with this thing. Caught my finger again. Ow, 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 ow. Let's see what I'm doing here. That's it. That thing's useless. I need the choppers, really, the pruning shears for this, but we don't know where they are. Everything just vanishes in this house. That's it. caught it. I caught it on the way down. Look at that! I caught every single one. I should be a wicket keeper for Australia. I caught every single one of those branches falling down. Maybe I should replace Kevin Peterson. He doesn't play anymore, does he? I don't think. They tell me he couldn't catch a cold. Ah, I'm getting covered in stuff. Trying my best to keep everything this side. Covered in stuff. Yeah, these things are pretty useless actually. Let's find the other ones. A few bits did fall over next door, but I can't really do much about that. It'll stay with me, look. Things are a pain in the ass. Tried my best to keep everything this side. It's not quite as it's not quite overhanging like it was. That'll do for now, I think. Over there. Ow, fucking thing. Bashing myself all over the place. I've not got a lot of space to work with there. Hence the sound effects. Come on. Right, I think that's the best way to set it up. What's the time? What's the time? 1:30. Just seeing what those notifications were. I'm sure I'm losing more money hand over foot today on the stock market. Seems to be the same thing every week. Monday and Tuesdays are terrible, Wednesdays not so bad, and then Thursdays and Fridays I make money. Do 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 do. Let's chop this right back. Get it right back. Make it not so wide. It's miles too wide really, this. So take all this dead stuff out. Yeah. It's going to take me some time, this, but it's got to be done. 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 I don't know why I'm saying that so many times. It doesn't change the workload. That's what you just heard. That's one of the reasons I don't let Rufus out at the front, because we've got morons in this town. Right, I'm gonna use a saw. Oh, some of that went in my eye, I think. Bear with me, kids. I can't see. I have dust in my eye. Oregon, yep. I have heard of Oregon. Yes, indeed. I can't pinpoint it, but I know. Getting covered in stuff again. Go. So I've only been to the States once. Just over 20 years ago now. But I did have fun actually. It was good. I enjoyed my stay, but I need to do more travelling. I need to visit a few more places in America and a few more places elsewhere as well. I'm gonna sneeze. Oh, excuse me. Dear, oh dear, dust. Can't get that one. Oh, gonna sneeze. Excuse me. Oh. I apologise if you hear any swearing. I haven't heard any yet, but I think the kids are out, the high school kids are out on their lunch break. And whereas swearing used to be quite a rare thing when I was at school, it seems to be used as punctuation these days. So you very likely might pick something up. Did you? I didn't know. I didn't know whether you could pick that up over on the phone. It's the probably the. I imagine the fish and chip shop is open over the road. They're probably in there. Mind you, actually, no, that's been. I think that's been refurbished. I'm not sure. But there's loads of places over the road, shops and stuff. So they're probably over there buying crap to eat for lunch. It's because these branches are all dead. All the thingies on them are just dropping off and going all over me because all of it's dead. So going in my eyes and everywhere. I can. The thing is, though, I could stand on the ladder. Good morning, good morning. Howdy diddly. How you diddling? I can see the line better from up here, but I'll try and get up here, see what happens. Howdy doody. Yeah, it's not. I can't see what I'm working with as well up here. Oh Jesus, covered in it. I've lost the right tools for the job. Oh. Howdy doody everyone, thank you for tuning in and watching me get covered in shrapnel. Oh. So the job in hand is to chop all this back so that it's not overhanging that line, this sort of semi-straight line which I made this morning, or this afternoon rather. Do 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 do. These aren't really the right tools for the job, but I can't find the correct tools. They've gone. They've vanished. Rufus has probably hidden them. There we go. That's what I want. Sort of taken back a little bit from the edge. Battery's all right, I think. Yeah, it was. No, it's actually 19%, believe it or not. So I will have to well point it out, Matthew. I'll have to keep an eye on that. Ow! Ooh. When these things, I bash my hand sometimes. I will have to keep an eye on that. Keep forgetting I came out here just before noon. I didn't come out here like gone lunchtime like I normally do. So we've obviously used a bit more battery up than we otherwise would by this point. For that reason, I feel like I'm making progress now. I can see things starting to happen, which is good. But this needs to come, all that needs to come back, because I can't, from the other side, and I can't really reach the middle if it's too wide. So when I'm trying to do the top, so I need to bring this in a bit. I said I'm gonna, on the 22nd, I'm gonna upgrade from 24 gigabytes of data per month to 100 gigabytes, and my monthly fee will go down from £34.89 a month, £34.89 a month, to £20 a month, because I would have finished my contract. And so what I'm going to start doing is, obviously I can do more of these, and I'm going to start broadcasting from the summer house again, because the reason I stopped is because the Wi-Fi is intermittent there, because it's so far from the router, or the router as we call it. And but obviously if I'm in there and I've got 100 gigabytes of data, I can just use the data, and it's already in the afternoons. That summer house is really, really warm, because obviously it's a sun trap. The sun is getting a bit higher now, so that'll be pretty cool. So the only reason I sort of switched to broadcasting in that room is because I was right next to the Wi-Fi connection. So that room is always, it's not very warm in there. It never is, because the curtains are always drawn. So I much prefer doing it in the summer house, at least in the summertime. In the winter time, it's absolutely freezing in there. These just don't really cut it on some of these branches, quite literally. Keeping on the battery, 16%. What's that? I've got a notification about I'm frightened to check that notification in case it ends the broadcast. I get loads and loads of news stuff coming throughout the day, related to shares and share prices and stuff. So the time is 1:42. Yeah, it's nice today. It's nice, but yeah, it is usually cold. Yes, if my shares start making me a lot of money, I'm still going to live here, but probably only in July and August. I'll have a holiday home here for July and August. And it would be on the other side, so that we get the weather from the Atlantic, not the North Sea. It's usually a degree or so warmer on the west coast. A little bit more than that, obviously, in Fahrenheit. So maybe I should start packing up now. I'm going to start packing this stuff up. Going a little bit early. I don't like eating too late anyway, because obviously I don't want to spoil my appetite when it comes to dinner time. But I will be back out here later on, folks, if anybody's about. Wants to tune in. I could probably get away with not putting these away, but I suppose I best. It's not quite there, but it's coming back. I don't like these are weeds, I think, but they're pretty. I like them because they're pretty. Pretty colours. Hello, Doody, 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 Doody. Hello, Mr. Happy Boy. I'll put them in here because it's not so far to walk. Do 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 do. Yeah, so do I. Yeah, cheers, Matthew. The mystery of the gloves. The blossom just starting to come out on the. I don't know what this is actually, but the blossom's coming out on it. This stuff needs to come down as well because this is dangerous. I'll end up getting decapitated by that. A lot of this is, see, that's pretty rotten really. It's where it largely to do with where it hasn't got much light. Number plate, did you? You can go online and check whether that's taxed and stuff, I think. We had a boy racer here last year that kept going past, and he kept driving like 2 or 3 times the speed limit and then slamming his brakes on so that the tyres skidded and all that. And this went on for weeks. So we eventually, he did it one time while we were Rufus jumped out the way while we were walking him because he, you know, it scared him and that. And we went online, and there's a website, I can't remember what it is, to see whether the car was taxed and all that kind of stuff. And it wasn't. It didn't have the correct documents and all that. So we took the number plate to the. Yeah, see you later, buddy. We took the registration number to the police. The reason I was keen to do that is because there's a school, primary school, right outside, quite near our school, literally a couple of minutes walk away. And I thought that guy's he's gonna kill someone. He's gonna kill a kid probably. And then I thought, well, you know, we get not a lot happens around here. So if someone did get knocked down, you'd hear about it. And I think I'd feel really guilty if I found out that a kid in particular had been knocked down. So we reported it to the police. We didn't hear from him after that. He wasn't. It stopped a few days after that. But there was a case in a nearby town where a car matching the description had been clocked doing 140 mile an hour, and the police had arrested him and that. And we didn't see him after that news, so I don't know whether it was the same person or just coincidence, but we've never heard it again after that. I mean, I don't know who's driving at 140 mile an hour around these streets, but it's only a matter of time before you kill someone. Always take these ladders back round because I forgot actually the other day, but they're quite expensive, these ladders in general. Stay there, bro. Good lad, that's it. Right, we've got 11% battery. It died really quickly the other day, so I presume it's going to do that again today. I'm going to go and check the stock market in a minute. I've got 99 shares. I'm trying to. My aim was to build up 100. There was one I was trying to get last night, and it was an Australian company, I think, called AIA, I couldn't get it because, well, I could get it, but I didn't get it because the margin, the difference between the selling and the buying price was too was too large, and that's the commission that they charge you to take the platform I used to take out the share. So I was waiting for the margin to come down, so I'd pay a much smaller commission, but it stayed at 16 pips, which was a bit of a pain. I was waiting for it to get below 10. And obviously the Aussie stock market's closed now. I can't get that at this moment. What's the matter with you? Oh, go on then, we'll have a little chase. I'm a bit tired, but we ain't got long because I've got 9% battery. What's that? That looks... No, Rufus, no, that's diseased. Don't touch that, that's well and truly... You'll get ill messing about with that. That's diseased, buddy, you'll hurt yourself. I think I've got to do a bit of clearing up out here. There's been a couple of whoopsies left, I won't show you. Ah. Let's share this out for the replay people. Oh, there's a group called Trump on here. Not seen that before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold on a minute. Don't be so impatient. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Ah. You're going to be the death of me. I'm not quite as young as I used to be. Ah. I wish I was your age. Ah. I can't catch you, you're too fast. Ah. Oh dear, how long have I got to do this for? Right folks, I'm going to pack up in a minute. Oh, what's happened here? Oh. Right, we've got 5% battery left folks. I cannot see a thing because this thing has just gone really dark. It didn't go so dark yesterday. So I'm gonna log off now because I can't see a thing. So see you later folks, thanks for tuning in.